Hi, everybody. So, welcome back. So, today we're going to be talking about caring too much about what people think of you, right? Um, so, I think that there's people are seeking validation when you really don't need to. Don't put so much importance on doing that. Kara was telling me, you'd be really cautious about what dreams you say to people, or what telling people your dreams.
Yeah, you got to be cautious. You got to protect your dreams.
Yeah,
and you got to protect it from people who are naysayers.
Yeah,
and people who will try to make you get rational, or get realistic a lot of times. And sometimes because it didn't happen for them, or they haven't seen it, they don't think it can ever happen for you, so they'll try to get you to a realistic point of view, so that you just kind of not do it.
Yeah, and I think they're being realistic. Sometimes, okay, so obviously in a lot of cases you have to be real. I mean, some situations you have to be realistic in. I get that. But sometimes I feel like it's a dream killer.
Yeah.
Because you can't, what's it, Will Smith? Didn't he say this?
Right.
Like, thinking about, he said something about being too realistic. Although you need part of you to be that way.
I know. Because he was saying that before the airplane was invented, people thought it was unrealistic to think that it could fly. Before the automobile was invented, people thought it was unrealistic for, besides a horse, to have a mode of transportation. But those people didn't think realistically, and that's why we have all the advantages that we have now, like electricity and all of these things, like the internet. And
so you think it can be a dream killer then? It can be, especially when you're trying so hard to explain to people your dreams. Like, I have seen people do this where they're over explaining their whatever they're doing, and sometimes I feel like when people do that is they don't have confidence in themselves.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
a little bit. Like,
our confidence.
You're looking for validation from those people, so why do you need so much of that validation? If you believe in your concept, believe in whatever you're doing, then do it. Don't care about what other people think. So,
yeah, I mean, I think that it starts early, though. I think it starts with your parents. I think it starts when you go to school, because you get validation when you do things right. So then when you do things that people don't think you can do, or they think that it's not practical, or traditional or practical or whatever, then people think that it's just silly. Or you need to grow up or something. And I honestly think that when you pass away, that those are the things that you regret. Or the things you just didn't do. And so I think that you have to learn to have confidence in your own opinions and keep it away from, having someone else's point of view, because no one can tell you what's good for you,
Yeah.
They'll only tell you what's good for themselves.
Yeah. Do you remember when before we moved to New York, we worked at Lazarus. Okay, Kara and I always worked together.
Oh yeah,
we always work together. But we worked at Lazarus, and we were making plans to move to New York, and we chose New York because it was
the hardest city.
It was the hardest city. New York is probably one of the bigger cities, and is one of the biggest cities in the world. We could have easily lived in Indianapolis. We could have easily moved to Chicago, but we just felt like that wasn't a big enough risk. So we wanted to go to New York. Now, remember we were at Lazarus when some of the workers were like, you're not going to be, you're not going to make it there. You're not going to be people. Yeah. Why would you do that? You're not going to make it there. And you won't survive more than 3 months or 6 months, and you'll be back home. And we ended up being there for almost a decade, for pretty much a decade. But I'm just thinking back, if we had listened to those people. And were so scared, or believing what they were saying, I don't think we would have ever even gone.
Yeah.
Like, I know I would have probably never even went, because we're, you know what I mean? Because people were really saying, you're not.
But people's validation is just so important to most people. I mean, we live in a social media world where you get likes for photos, you get likes for comments. There are people who put things up on Facebook they don't even really believe. They'll talk about God and they don't even really believe what they're talking about, just to get likes. They'll put up sexual photos of themselves. They'll put up anything to get approval.
Right.
And unfortunately, it's caused us to care so much about how people view us.
Yeah.
And people stop doing things that they want to do just because they're afraid it's either going to look stupid or they're going to get laughed at or
Naysayers.
Right?
Yeah.
And I do think it's unfortunate because I think in order to get anywhere in this life, you have to really not give a damn about anybody's opinion.
Yeah.
You really do.
True.
You can't really listen to what other people say when it's something that's inside of you. If it's something that's inside of you, it's meant for you to do. No matter how old you are, no matter if you're a man or a woman, no matter, of any of that. And you have to go and do it, because at the end of the day, you only be mad at yourself for not doing it, listening to somebody else's.
Right. Which a lot of people do.
Right.
They want to other people to feel that their journey is important, and I think that you have to feel that your journey is important.
I've gotten really comfortable with not really caring what people think to a point.
Yeah, because at some point you have to.
You do. I mean, you have to. If you're working at a job, you have to care what your boss thinks, because otherwise you won't get a raise or you'll get fired. You have to care about what your spouse thinks, because you have to live with them. You have to care about that. But when it comes to things that are your dreams or things that you just really believe, and you just want to say, "Hey, you have to be a dream." It would just be something you really believe in. That is yours. And I think that you should never. This is why I don't think people should always ask for the other people's opinions for everything. Because
but if it's opinion of, say you want to be a singer, right, or whatever, do you think it's right? You think it's a good idea for those people to go to other people that are already successful in that field
that's
to
different.
get their opinions on it? You're speaking about like just your friends and family, and just
it's different if you're going to a mentor, because they're going to help you with your dream. They're going to help you with what you need to do. But for people who aren't involved in your dream, and that could be your family, that could be your best friend, those people are the ones that are usually going to be the hardest, because they love you. But on the other hand, because you care about them so much, you care about their opinion.
And a lot of times what will happen with family members and friends, not all of them, but if they if you're doing something that you want to do and you have the courage to do it, and then you get like a friend or a family member that are naysayers or just spread negativity over your dream, it's usually because they didn't do their dream.
Right.
And so normally it's because they didn't do their dream. They didn't have the courage that you're having to do your dream. And they want to bring you back down to a level, to their level, so they can feel like, oh my gosh, if they achieve their dream, I never even tried.
And sometimes people can be well-meaning too. Some people can really, really care about you and just be well-meaning, but still be negative, not knowing that their opinion is still not needed. But they can just be well-meaning. They can really think they're just trying to help you out. And that's why I always feel like you really have to hold on to your own confidence and know that whatever you're doing, even if it takes a long while, that it's worthwhile.
I feel like it's important to do inventory on your circle. Just make sure you keep positive people around you, and also pay attention to who is, when you're winning, who's clapping. And are they clapping with a side eye? Because some people, you can be doing well, and you said this once before. Be careful about who's praying. Who's praying for you? Because not everybody's praying. A lot of times they're praying, but inside their head they're like, I hope this person fails. This person.
Because a lot of people on Facebook go, "Where are my prayer warriors? Everybody come and pray for me."
Be careful, y'all.
Be careful, because that's unfiltered. That's unfiltered praying. Praying. You know what I mean? Because you don't know. Most people don't know everybody on their Facebook personally, so you don't know who
what they doing,
how they really feel about you. So you got to be really careful about just unfiltered prayers.
It's unfiltered prayers. I swear I never. Okay, right. So I'll give you a good example. Okay, so I'm 42. I just turned 42. So there are people around. Okay, so I would like to have a child or children. Okay, and I would like to still get married. It's not the end. It's not the end for me. I just like to still get married and have children. Okay, so when people hear the age 42 and she wants to have kids and she wants to be married, I do understand there is it's a window for women. I mean, let's be real. I mean, there's a window for women. Okay, and so I get that part, but there are other ways to have children, and there are other ways to have children. But my point is that I get people all the time that say to me, you're no spring chicken. You better hurry up. You better get going. You haven't been married yet. You don't got what? You should be having this many kids by now. And the whole thing is that when I tell people, like I purposely didn't want to have children when I was at a younger age. I didn't want to have children. I didn't want to have children, like as a teenager, obviously, but especially, I wanted to be married. I wanted to do the whole thing, be married and, that whole thing. And now people are just kind of like, well, I don't know if it's going to happen for you. Because, so if I cared, I don't give that a lot of energy, because if I were to sit here and care about what every single person is saying when it comes to that, I would be miserable. I think I would be depressed right now if that was the case. Anything is possible. Yeah. It's not, like this is the point. Do not care too much about what people think, because if I did, I would not be happy person like right now. I do believe I'm going to get married. I do believe that I'm going to have a child or children. There are many ways to have children. And when I say these things, people are still, no, that's just not logical. I'm like, okay, well, so there's a lot of, I think there's like society pressures is what it's like, when you're a certain age, I think a lot of people like in their 40s, especially women in their 40s are, with that society pressure.
Yeah. I mean, you suddenly have all of a sudden former teenage pregnancy women telling you, I'm glad I had kids when I did. And you think to yourself, really?
This happened to me.
You know what I mean?
I had it wasn't a friend, someone at work said to me, he was like, you should have had them younger. I'm like, did you, but I'm like, but you didn't mean to have.
And this is why you have to consider.
I'm not knocking teenage mothers.
But what I'm saying is that when someone like that comes up to you and tries to, make their teenage pregnancy seem better than your midlife pregnancy, you think, you got to consider the source. Yeah. Because obviously this person makes mistakes too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And they're not the best person to take advice from all the time. This is why I don't take advice from a lot of people, because I understand that where people are in their life, they'll try to blow themselves up as though they did things right to make your thing look minimal, or like it's not going to happen. And so that's why I listen to myself and I listen to God. I listen to what's inside of me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because if I say I want to be a mother, I'm going to be one.
Right. Yeah, like you don't have, no one can tell you
about
your life.
If I say I'm going to get married, I'm going to get married.
What's for me, whatever God has for me, that's I'm going with that. But I'm definitely going to be listening more to God than I am going to be listening to people telling me that I can't do something. And that just goes for anybody. It doesn't have to be that situation. I just thought about it because this is exactly what we're talking about when it comes to caring about too much what people think, because it can really make you start to feel like, if you really let it get into your head, it can really start to make you feel like, oh man, are they right? Is it over for me? Am I never going to, is no one ever going to want me? And that's, y'all don't do that. You can have whatever you want, whenever you want. You just have to believe. Right? You have to believe it, You
got to believe in anything you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you want to lose weight, you got to believe in that.
Yeah.
If you want to, get successful, you got to believe in that. If you want to have a child, you got to believe in that. If you want to get married, you have to believe in that. You have to believe in yourself and your causes. If you don't believe in yourself and you're worried about what other people think, you will never get anything done. Yeah. And that's all part of being, loving yourself. Yeah. Because if you can't the whole point of loving yourself is that you put so much energy into yourself and your vibration is so much higher. And, you have so much more to give when your energy level is higher than to always talk about things that aren't really necessary. And also just not fact. Yeah. It's not a fact. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you get people that say that all the time though?
Yeah. Or I don't tell people about it too much. But it's funny to me.
I used to and I stopped.
Though, but now I get people who say it to me and I never even talked about it. They'll be like, "Ooh, Kara, I can't wait to your mother."
Yeah, it's weird.
They'll say it to me all the time. You know why? Because I believe it. Yeah. And it's like the energy. My energy is just like, it doesn't draw. Yeah. Because I don't accept that. So it doesn't draw. So now people just come to me and say, "Girl, you're going to be a good mom." You know what I mean?
It's such an interesting, it's such a privately confirming like feeling when you hear that. Not validating feeling, but like it's a confirmation because I don't know. I kind of like that, but I don't.
But it is confirmation. That's how you have to look at it, and that's the point of listening to yourself and not listen about what other people
Right.
think. Because believe me, most people who have had children didn't mean to do it.
Yes, that is true.
You know what I mean? So when you have
The
your
woman
life,
that said that to me, I was telling you, I was saying about the one that had the 3 children, their stair step, and she was like, "Oh my God, you better hurry up! I had mine when I was young." You know, her mom, it was a guest in the hotel, but her mom was with her, and this woman was now like in her 30s, but. They were checking into the hotel, and her mother was like, "Don't act like you meant to." She said, "No." She said, "Honey," she was looking at me. She goes, "Oh, honey, just you can have children anytime you want to have children." But she told her daughter, she was like, "Don't act like you meant to have the child at 16. Because I was not happy when you." So she kind of went in. I was like, well, I mean, props to any single moms out there that are doing a good job, and it took on the hard task of being a mom at that age. But a lot of single moms did not mean to get most single. Or teenage moms did not mean to do that. They did not mean to get pregnant, whatever. So I just kind of wanted to make the decision of when I was going to have a child. Didn't think it was going to be in my 40s, but I didn't know I was going to be older.
But just like before, like you were saying about us moving to New York. When we went to New York, so many people said that we weren't going to make it.
Oh my God.
Oh, you'll be back. And my ex-boyfriend said that. You'll be back in 3 months. You know what I mean? 10 years later, and I learned so much, and I grew so much there. And so that's what I'm saying. No one really knows the end result of what is to happen to you except for God. And that's it. You know what I mean? Not even you, really. The only thing you can do is keep moving towards it, and do what you have to do to get to the goals and things that you really want to do. But other than that, no one can tell you how successful you can and cannot be. No one can tell you, any of that. And anybody who tries to keep you down on that is trying to keep you at their level.
Yeah. So there's another side to this. When you are needing other people's opinions, when you're telling people,
you're constantly
telling people, what do you think about this? Am I doing that right? They give you the answer, and then you get mad because it wasn't the answer. The answer didn't line up to your dream, right? But if someone's giving you have to be able to take what you dish out. Right. So. Yeah,
because if you're leaning on people for answers, then you also have to lean on their answer.
Yeah.
And if you don't like their answer, this is a clue to you that you need to listen to yourself and stop always trying to get validation from others.
Yeah. It's true.
Because people have their own opinions, but they're basically, when people have an opinion, it's basically only for themselves.
Yeah.
Even if they're talking about you, they're really just talking about stuff they would do.
Yes.
And they're just projecting it onto you. You know what I mean? So you can take that or not. But if you're not someone who's strong enough to accept criticism or strong enough to accept, I guess, what people call the truth, then don't ask the question.
Yeah.
YouTube, we get negative comments on YouTube. But does that mean I'm going to stop?
That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
So that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Like here on YouTube, so since we've been on YouTube, and let me just say this, we are a small channel. Y'all know this, right? We're a very, very, very small channel. We love our channel, but it is a small channel. The amount of the people that are actually the people who are more positive far outweigh the negative. But we do get comments from people who are really like don't like like our videos, mostly because it's I don't know. A lot of people who look at our videos don't like women. You know what I mean? Don't like women. So we're women. And so we get some hate on that. But it's not a lot. But if I care, but let's just say, if we really were like continuously looking at what people were saying, like we wouldn't get past that first video. Right. That first, there would not have been a second video. Sure, a second wouldn't be where we're at right now. So, you have to be, like, I like to hear people out. But I think that if you're...
I mean, I've had a friend at work say, how do you not care about, like, when you get criticism,
From the YouTube?
No.
Or just in general? At work? Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I always say I have thick skin.
I have really
I have thick skin, and I stand up for myself. I don't really listen to what everybody has to say to me. You know what I mean? Because I think if you do that, and there have been many times in my life where I did, and it ended with me being really unhappy, because I didn't do anything. At some point, you do want people to give you input sometimes, and you do need validation sometimes. But like I said, like if you're at work and you want to raise, you got to do well. Yeah. And so you have to care what your boss thinks. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's the same. You know what I mean? But if you
that's confidence, though.
Right.
That's confidence and focus. So if you don't have confidence, or some kind of esteem in yourself, then you're constantly gonna be concerned about what people are thinking of you.
I mean, there are people who won't say no. They'll say yes all the time to everything because they're afraid of hurting someone's feelings. And that's a problem I don't have. I'm very comfortable saying no. You know what I mean? And it's not because I'm mean, and I know that. That's why I feel okay saying nope. Yeah. You know?
Well, there's people who get afraid of doing that though, because this goes back to the point of the entire video, is that they think that if they say no, or if they speak up for themselves in any way, the person that they're talking to is not gonna all of a sudden not gonna like them anymore, because they're now doing something to have a backbone. You know,
and you lose people. That's another reason why people don't really do things that they want to do, because they're afraid of losing people. Because once you go off and do something, or you change in any way, you will lose people. You will start to lose. You might lose a family member, you might lose best friends, and it's just because you're in a different place now. And a lot of people fear that. They don't want to lose their mother or their best friend or anything, so they stay little to keep their little circle there. But sometimes it just happens naturally, and you're now doing what someone else tells you to do in order to stay, in littleness. And you can't do that. You outgrow situations, things, people, and you have to think for yourself. You don't think for yourself, you really are doing injustice to who you really are and why you're here.
You want to have a sense of, people want to have a sense of belonging. I think everybody, I do too.
I know people don't like to stand up for Kanye West, but this is why people don't like him. It's because he says something against the narrative. And people, like he said, we have freedom of speech, but we don't have freedom of thought. And the instant you start thinking differently than the people that you are surrounded by, then you become an outcast, and then people get mad at you, and you're not a part of the group anymore. And so people keep themselves in littleness. They do that because they want to belong, because in general, because we're, naturally we like to be close. We like to have little packs. We like to have, little cliques, and people like our family and things like that. So we keep ourselves small so we can belong. But the instant you have something in your heart, or something you just have to do or have to say, and it doesn't go with the narrative of what everybody else says, a lot of people don't say what they really say. They just go along with it. But then the people who do say what they say, they get ostracized. Look at Colin Kaepernick. He made a good gesture, but look what it cost him.
He didn't care about what anyone thought. He didn't care about what it has cost him. It cost him, his entire career, and so, it's a good point. But you still got to do it. You know what I mean? You still got to muster up the courage to be like, I don't give a damn what you say. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be this way. Otherwise, you're going to be, like you said, remain small.
Because wherever I want to go, you have a mentor. And if I have a mentor, I care about what that person says, because I'm trying to get on their level. Right. So give me the information, because that's helping me. Yeah. But I'm not going to care about someone's opinion who is not where I want to be anymore. Yeah. That's why they are where they are. I don't want to be here no more. Right. So that's kind of like a litmus test. If you don't want to be somewhere where if you don't want to be in your current situation, and the only advice you're getting from people in that same current situation, you'll never become wealthy if you're listening to poor people. Right. It's true. You have to talk to wealthy people. Right. You know what I mean? It's like you have to talk to people who, you know what I mean? If you want to be a mother, don't sit here and listen to all these people who tell you that you can't have children after 40. Look at all the women who have had children after 40. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? And that's what I do. So, you know what I mean? You draw that to you. Yeah. So it's like, if you can take people's advice, but take it, don't take it so heartedly, because everybody's not living you. They don't have the same brain. They don't raise the same way as you, and they're not going to have the same goals as you. Yeah. And so you have to be able to think for yourself. You have to be able to say, you have to be able to take what people say sort of like, okay, you can, take, leave it, or, let it go. But if you're taking it to heart to the point where you just give up on stuff because you're afraid of what your whole surroundings is going to think, you'll never get anything done. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we were talking about before, is that you have to be careful of who's clapping. Right. When you're winning, because a lot of times they're clapping with disdain. They're clapping, they're not really wanting to do that. This is a hard thing for them to do for you. This is... Well, this action is not something they want to do. Yeah, one of my very favorite quotes is from Michael Beckwith, and he says, "Mediocrity will always try to trump excellence, and it always will." Yeah. You know what I mean? Because most people think mediocre, and they act mediocre. And when someone thinks excellence and then actually does it, it makes them think of themselves of where they are.
Right.
So they'll always try to make you look like a fool, or make you look stupid, or make you look like a dreamer, or someone's not going to feel, so you have
That's
to
what I was saying before, that that's what I was saying before, is that
Yeah,
there's
right.
a lot of people who, the reason why they try to put down your dream is because they didn't do it. There's something in their life they didn't accomplish, or they didn't try, or tried and failed and didn't try again.
Yeah, people will say to me all the time, like, not recently, not these, but like I've had other housekeepers come in and they'll say, well, why do you do such a good job? They don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a job that you don't have to do well at, know? And I always say, I always do well.
Yeah, like why would
I always do well. I don't let a certain type of job take away my work ethic.
Yeah.
That means something to me, because no matter what I do, no matter what my job title is, I'm always the best at my job.
Right.
Always. I always strive to give. I don't care if I was at Macy's. I don't care if I'm here. I don't care whatever I've ever been. I've always been number one somewhere. You know what I mean? And I do that because I know inside me I have a winning spirit. I always have to win, and I'm always going to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that people train themselves to be lazy. They train themselves to be mediocre. They train themselves to do that, trying to be easy. Everything has to be easy.
Well, they want to follow the crowd.
Right.
If you want to follow the crowd.
And so I always, no matter what I'm doing, and I know a lot of people will think that, oh, you're a housekeeper, so why don't you just do a horrible job? Who cares? I care.
Yeah.
I care because for me, when I'm promoted to something more, and I will be, I always want to have the spirit of a winner. Like everything you're doing, whether you're saving money, save your money. Just because you don't have anything to spend your money on doesn't mean you shouldn't keep your money.
Well,
you
then
never
also
know
that's another
when
good,
you're going to be needing that.
Also, even like when it comes to stuff like that with money, there's people out here that will tell you, oh, you don't make a good, your income is not high enough. You can't save anything with that.
No, you can't.
How about I don't care what you say. We did. We don't. I mean, like we're very transparent about most things. I mean, obviously, if y'all watched our videos or any point, you will understand how transparent we are. We really don't care. We're really transparent, and we don't make like a ton of money, but somehow.
No, I have more money. I've had jobs that have paid me
very lucrative jobs.
More.
Yeah, I've had
tons
lucrative
more, and I never
jobs.
had a savings. I never had anything. Now I have more money, and I make the least amount.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And that's just a mindset. That's what I'm saying. You always.
If I cared about what people
right.
were saying,
or where you are at,
yeah, right. I would have never even saved a dime.
That's why I don't listen to people.
It's in your head. You have to believe and have confidence in yourself. Stop caring about. People telling you can't do something. If you're someone who has 50 different interests in your life, you can do all 50 of them. I believe you have to have a focus on something, but don't let people tell you can't do what you want to do. You just have to have confidence. You just have the confidence in what you're doing. If you have confidence, then you can just hang it all up. So I don't know. You have to be really vigilant of that and pay attention to what people were putting into your ear, because people will try to. I think that people will definitely try to steer you in the wrong direction. If they're not doing well, they will try to steer you in their direction.
You got to keep good people around you, affirming people, because the truth is that if you go towards anything you truly want in life, truly want, whether it's a job or whether it's a child or whether it's a marriage, whatever you personally truly want, it's going to be hard to get. And the reason why it's going to be hard to get is because it's teaching you something about yourself. It's always about you. And if you listen to what other people say, even if you start trying to do it, you're gonna have a hard time getting through the hard time of it, because everything has a season where it's a little stagnant. And if you listen to what people say, you'll believe that they're right.
Right.
It's just not important to me.
Because again, when people are in a bad place, they'll try to get you in a bad place too. So
because I say to myself, like I said, I listen to motivational tapes. I'm going somewhere, so I don't need to listen to people gossiping or people doing stuff. You know what I mean? I don't need that at work. I don't need to hear anything negative. I do my work. I do it right, and I keep my mind focused. What's in my ear are the successful people.
Not worried about
right.
what else
You know
is
what I mean?
Doing. Yeah. I used to listen. I listened to naysayers before in my life, and it's gotten me nowhere but paralyzed in fear. Yeah. That I can't do it. That I won't be able to do it. So. But yeah, when you release that, I think also as you get older, you're just kind of like, well, maybe not. Sometimes not even. Yeah. Because I know people who are much older than me that are still hanging on to everyone's last word. They say it's good. That's gonna be great.
But I think that everything negative in our life is is necessary. You know what I mean? Because I think it just shows us where we are weak.
Yeah.
And what we need to work on. You know what I mean? It's like when you're doing a crunch and it really, really hurts, but that's the reason, because you need to work on it.
Right.
You see someone do 100 crunches and you can only do 5. It's because you haven't worked somewhere in your core area. So it's the same thing in everyone else. If you're always listening to what other people have to say and you're disappointed with your life as it currently is because of that, then that's a sign, really, that you need to listen to yourself and have more confidence, and it'll keep showing itself to you until you do it.
Right. Then that I think people are just doing too much of, they're not achieving what they want to achieve because they're so focused on what people are saying to them. And I know people in my own personal life that are doing this, and you really do have to just have the confidence in yourself to know that you can do whatever you want. And if someone says that you can't, you don't have to go out of your way to prove it to that person that you can, but
Right.
it would be really nice if you get that victory.
Right.
And then they were wrong. So
like, let your haters be your motivators.
Yeah,
that's why
I
they
do
say
believe
that. You got to let people who don't believe in you just prove them wrong. Just keep going.
Keep going. Hey, you guys, so that's like our little, we just did like a motivational speaking. We did a little bit of motivational speaking a little bit, but no, just to let you guys, please don't care too much about what people think. And
believe in yourself.
Just live your life, y'all. Just live your life. Trust me, you're going to be a happier person if you do that. So let us know what you think. We are at 58 subscribers.
Thank you.
Now we're almost at 60. Hopefully get 100 pretty soon, but we're almost at 60. So thank you guys for subscribing to our channel. Thank you guys for liking our Facebook page. Again, if you guys here on YouTube or on Facebook, it's Convos with Kara and Danielle, the same as it is here. If you can just like our page, that would be wonderful. But thank you guys for the almost 60, 58 subscribers. Really appreciate that. And just let us know what you think about this topic. And we will be back again next week with another one. Thank you guys. We will see you next week.